Hello everybody, my name is Charity Hampton and I am here to talk to you for just a few minutes about how to find the perfect audition song for your next audition. So let's get into it. Okay, so first thing on the list to help you find your perfect audition song, research, research, research. Once you have figured out what that show is that you're going to be auditioning for, research it. Find out what the basic storyline is. Find out when it took place. Find out what style of music it is. Those things will help you so much when it comes to song choice. Knowing the basic plot and storyline and a little bit about the character that you're auditioning for helps so much, especially if you're going to be doing a cold reading in the audition room. Also, knowing where it takes place helps a lot, because if it takes place somewhere like England or Ireland or in the deep south, in case they want you to perform a song with an accent. And knowing what style of music the show is helps tremendously in picking the song that you're going to audition with. Okay, next, song choice. So song choice is literally why we are here, so I have a lot of things to add into this category. But the first thing is to know what style of show you're auditioning for. That will help so much. The three main ones that I usually see around are classic, contemporary, and pop rock. Those three are the most common types that you will find in shows around. So another helpful reason to know the show and what character you are auditioning for is, does that character sing more up-tempo songs? Do they sing more ballads? That's something really helpful to know, because if you're auditioning for a certain character and that certain character sings a lot of ballads, then you probably want to sing a ballad, because then you can show the casting team what you can do with a ballad. Another thing is, find the song that works for your voice. Find the character that works for your voice. Find something that you can really nail every time. That is so super important. It's all about letting the casting team know what you're capable of so that they can find the perfect part for you. Google is your friend. Google is your friend. Once you have researched your show, know everything about it, all that jazz, look up the composer. Look them up and see, hey, they've done other shows and they usually write in a similar style for their shows. So say I was auditioning for Rent, I might sing something from Tick, Tick, Boom, which was they were both written by the same guy. Or if I was auditioning for Sound of Music, I might sing something from The King and I, because they're written by the same people and they usually have a similar style to them. So I really recommend looking up the composers and looking up what other works that they've done, because you might find some really awesome ideas for new audition songs. Another thing I would greatly recommend is being prepared with 2 audition songs. You heard me, 2 audition songs. Because if you sing an up-tempo song for your audition, they'd be like, oh, that's really cool. Do you have a ballad? Because we want to see what you do with the ballad. It does not happen very often, so don't freak yourself out that you have to sing 2 audition songs every single time, because it does not happen very often. And a lot of times, instead of running you through a whole nother song, they'll just run you through some scales. But it has happened, so be prepared, just in case, because I would rather have you prepared than scared that they asked you for another song and you didn't know what to do. So always come with another song. I would recommend something maybe a little more contrasting to what you're singing, but still in the same style. If you're auditioning for a classic show, your main song is a classic up-tempo. I recommend also having a classic ballad, just in case. But make sure that they are both songs that you know really well. Don't freak yourself out too much with the second choice. Don't freak out with the first choice, but don't freak yourself out too much with the second choice either. Make sure they're just songs that you know really well and that you can sing really well. That will help ease your mind a little bit just in case they ask for something else. Okay, so congratulations. You have found an audition song. Now, what do you do after that? Well, the first thing I recommend is finding a cut. So cuts are usually specified by the casting team. You will usually see what kind of cut that they want you to have. So the most common that I have found is 32 bar cut. That's what they'll ask for. That's usually around 30 seconds of music. So what is a cut? A cut is just a chunk of the song that you find best represents your voice and who you are as that character in that role. So once you have found your song, go through and find the best part of the song to you. What is the best part that shows the best parts of your voice that makes sense as almost a short story or makes sense just in context of what you're singing? As long as it makes sense, as long as it's not a whole story and sort of makes sense as a standalone piece, go for it. Whilst we are talking about cuts and things, I mentioned earlier about the 32 bar cut. So, if you don't know what a bar is, I have an example. It's poorly drawn, but I have an example. So what is a bar? A bar is this little chunk right there. If you've seen sheet music, you have seen these bars. There's usually two sets of them. So there's one on top and one on the bottom with usually your words in between. So if you've seen that music has these little bars that go up and down like that, and you see them consistently throughout your sheet music, those are bars or measures. Some people have heard them as bars, some people have heard them as measures. They're the same thing. They are the same thing. So if they're asking for a 32 bar cut, you need to count 32 bars. So 2 of these bars is one measure or one bar. So I can have 32 of these in my cut. So find a cut that you like, count out the measures to make sure that it is very close, if not right on the dot, of 32 bars or 16 bars or 8 bars. So once you have found your cut of 32 bars or 18 or 16 or whatever, how many bars you need, the next step is to mark your music. So I recommend printing it out, putting it in a binder like this. This is my audition binder. I recommend finding a book and getting some of these really cheap plastic covers. It makes it so much easier for your accompanist, and we'll talk about ease for your accompanist here in a second. But marking your music is really important so that they know where to stop and where to start. So this is one of the songs in my audition book. See, I have marked where I'm starting right there. And I had meant to highlight it before going to the audition room, but I didn't. But I made sure that it was big, easy to see, and where to start. And then I also marked where to end it so that the accompanist knows exactly where you want to go. And while we are on the subject of accompanists, make sure before you go into an audition room that your music is in the correct key that you need it to be in and that it's not too difficult. I have made the mistake a couple of times and have paid for it. The pianist is there to help you. They're there to make sure that you sound great, that your music comes out fluidly and flawlessly, and they're here to help you. But it doesn't help if They have to transpose music on the spot, which is extremely difficult. Don't have them transpose right in the audition room, and make sure that it is not extremely difficult. They see your music for less than 30 seconds. Less than 30 seconds before you start singing. They're trying to analyze it. They're trying to figure out what key it's in, how fast it is, all of this different stuff, with the added pressure that they're going to have to perform it in 15 seconds. So make sure it is not an extremely difficult piece. I know you might want to sing this really awesome, crazy Jason Robert Brown song that changes keys like 15 times. And that's awesome, but try not to do that to your accompanist. They will thank you. You will thank them. Please be nice. And the last thing about working with accompanists is that when you hand your music to them, first of all, greet them. They're people. They're helping you out. Say hey. Say how you doing. Then give them a tempo. I recommend tapping it here, tapping it on the leg, to give them an indication of how fast or slow you want to move with the music. So, you've researched your show. You have found the perfect audition song. You have found the perfect cut. You have marked your music. You are insanely prepared. The last thing you got to do is have fun. I know it's extremely difficult sometimes to have fun because auditions can be a very scary process. They can be very nerve-wracking, especially if you don't know who you're auditioning in front of, you don't know anything. They can be extremely scary, but have fun. As much as you can, have fun. They want you to succeed. The casting team wants you to succeed. The accompanist wants you to succeed. Everyone wants you to succeed. They want you to be a part of their show. Go in there, have fun, and just remember to stay in the moment. Stay in that character. Show them what you got. Sometimes you think that you have given a great performance, you've given a great audition, and then that email comes that says, sorry, you weren't cast. That does not mean that you are not talented. It does not mean that at all. It means that maybe they just didn't find the right role that you could shine in, or the director has a different idea of where he wants to take the show. It happens to everybody. It happens to everybody. Don't let it get you down. Don't be sad. You are still extremely talented, and you can go on and audition for another show. Please continue to do what you love. If you love singing and you love performing, continue to do it. Don't let a rejection stop you from doing what you love. I hope that you've learned just a little bit to help your audition process run smoothly, and I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you later. Bye.